Welcome to Soul Speech. Hello everyone, I'm Soulman. Previously, we have studied how to construct sentences using NNV templates to describe the actions of nouns. In this episode, we will add Object Noun to that so that we can extend the NV template to NNV template, further expanding the usage of verbs. For sample Object Nouns, we will build up new vocabularies with food. Let's begin with everyday's popular food in Korea. We will have another episode to introduce variety of Korean food, but in this episode we can begin with everyday food in Korean life. Rice. Rice can be either pap or sal, and when you say pap, it means cooked rice, especially steamed rice. When we refer to uncooked rice, we have to say sal, sal. Since the cooked rice is traditional major everyday life food in Korea, pap is used almost as a synonym to food or meal in Korea. Bread is 빵, 빵. Ramen is either pronounced as ramen or 라면. That's because if a word begins with a real, it can be pronounced as either L or R sound, as we already learned earlier. In Japan or in US, it's spelled as ramen, but in Korea, it's spelled as ramyeon and pronounced as ramen or 라면. Cookie is 과자, 과자. Ice cream is simply an ice cream, spelled in Hangul as 아이스크림. Because ice cream is more like an imported food in Korea which didn't exist in Korean history, they simply use the same word ice cream. Noodle soup is 국수, 국수. You can say that ramen is part of 국수, but in general, 국수 means noodle soup with more toppings and better soup base typically made from traditional or special ingredients made at home or restaurant. While ramen in Korea is considered mostly as an instant food with curly noodles. To describe actions of eating, we have 먹다, 먹는다, 먹었다 for root, present, and past tense. Now the drinkable ones. Here is a list of popular beverages in Korea. Just like in English, Hangul also differentiates between eat and drinking. Juice, coffee, soju, beer, water, cola are all drinkable ones. Just like the ice cream case, we use juice for Hangul representation of English juice, writing Hangul as juice or juice. In Hangul, one character is one syllable, so there's no way of saying juice in one character, so we need to use two characters, juice as a Hangul representation of foreign word. Please do not consider it as a limitation in Hangul. Take it as a different characteristics of certain language instead. Considering Hangul was invented in year 1443, there was no coffee existed at the time in Korea. They didn't invent a new word for coffee, so they just use coffee as coffee. However, as you know, there's no F sound in Korean alphabet. As a result, coffee is written in Hangul as P, P with 퓨. When you visit Korea, you will notice that most Koreans would pronounce it as P. As a matter of fact, when any English words containing F is converted into Hangul character, they are presented with a 퓨. Of course, this only happens when you are converting English words into Hangul characters. Hangul itself does not have any F sound at all. Okay, let's move on to the next drink, soju. Soju is Korea's #1 alcoholic beverage. It's clear just like vodka with no color, generally mild taste. Its alcohol percentage varies between 16 to 24%. Soju is typically served with food or with some side dishes called anju. In Korea, legal age for drinking alcohol is 19. The second most popular alcoholic beverage in Korea is beer. Beer is 맥주 in Hangul, 맥주. Water is 물. Cola is also an imported drink, so we just use the same word, cola. In Korea, they don't differentiate between Pepsi and Coke, so just say cola. Alright, we have learned a lot of food and drinks. We are ready to eat and drink them all in sentences. Previously, we have practiced NV template with I ate, I drank, but we didn't know what we were eating or what we were drinking. Introducing new template NNV. The first N is subjective noun as before, and the last V is a verb as before. We are adding second N in the middle to be served as an object. So what part? I ate something, but what did you eat? This what is the second N, which is an object. This is a new template number 4. Just like template number 3 with NV, we are using un or nun at the end of the first N. As we already know, we use either un or nun particle at the end of a noun based on whether it's ending with 받침 or not. For example, 나 or 누나 does not end with a 받침, so use 는. 형 is ending with 받침 이응, so use 은, 형은. Object nouns also need particles. However, instead of 은는, we are using 을 or 를 for the object. 을 or 를. Similar rule applies here when we pick either 을 or 를. If the object noun is ending with 받침, then we use 을. If object noun does not end with 받침, then we use 를 instead. So, 은는 을를 다. 은는 을를 다. That is the rhythm of saying NNV template sentence. Now we are ready to construct full sentences using NNV template. Let's fill in the object part this time. We know how to say I ate, 나는 먹었다, elder brother drank, 형은 마셨다, elder sister drank, 누나는 마셨다. Let's fill in the blanks. What is Hangul word for rice as cooked rice? It's 밥. Since 밥 has 받침 비읍, should we use 을 or 를? We should use 을. So 나는 밥을 먹었다. 나는 밥을 먹었다. I ate rice. Brother drank beer. Since beer is for drinking, we have to say 마셨다. 형은 마셨다. Missing what part is beer? Beer is 맥주 in Korean. 맥주. 맥주, 주 does not have a 받침, so we need to use 를. 맥주를 마셨다. 형은 맥주를 마셨다. Sister drank is 누나는 마셨다. Water in Hangul is 물. 물 has 받침 리을, so we have to use 을, 물을. 누나는 물을 마셨다 instead of 누나는 물을 마셨다, which is very hard to pronounce. We need to say 누나는 물을 마셨다. Sister drank water. Now you know how to say drink and eat something. One of the most distinctive nature of Hangul is the use of honorific expression, which means an expression to show respect to other people. In Korea, they typically use honorific expression for people such as parents, elder relatives, teacher, boss, higher rank, or somebody in general older than you, or somebody you just met but don't know each other very well. You don't use honorific expression with your siblings. Typically, Korean people use non-honorific expression to your friends or the one who is younger than you are. If you are not sure about somebody's age and you don't know each other very well, it is safe to use honorific expression all the time. Use of honorific expressions in Hangul has much more meaning than using would you or please do something in English. In general, honorific expressions are used with verbs, the actions. So here, 먹다, eat is not honorific expression. There is a special word for it, which is 드시다. 드시다 is root. The present form is 드신다 with 니은다. Past form is 드셨다, 드셨다, which is an honorific expression of eat, eating, or ate. The tail word of 쉬다, 쉰다, 쉬었다 are general form of honorific expression for verbs. Honorific expression is called in Hangul as 존댓말, 존댓말. We will cover more of honorific expressions later. Let's focus on 드시다, 드신다, 드셨다 for eat. Now we know how to say honorific expression for ate, 드셨다. Here, the subjective nouns are father, uncle, and aunt. So 아빠, 삼촌, 이모, all either parents or elder relatives. So we use honorific expression. Instead of 먹었다, we need to use 드셨다. Let's practice without second and part for now. 아빠는 드셨다. 삼촌은 드셨다. 이모는 드셨다. We all know that dad, uncle, or aunt ate something. Now we need to fill in the second N, object nouns with some food. Bread is 빵. So 빵을 드셨다. Beer is 맥주. 맥주를 드셨다. Drank is 마셨다, but we use same honorific expression 드셨다 for drinkable food as well as regular food. So we can use 삼촌은 맥주를 드셨다. 삼촌은 맥주를 드셨다. Uncle drank beer. Now we have cola for 이모. 콜라를 드셨다. Aunt drank cola. 이모는 콜라를 드셨다. Let's suppose it's me who ate bread, drank beer, and drank cola. Then NNV phrases will change to 나는 빵을 먹었다. 나는 맥주를 마셨다. 나는 콜라를 마셨다. Because you never say or use an honorific expression to yourself. Well, unless you have a very, very strong ego. Let's try another set with 드셨다. Father ate rice, cooked rice or steamed rice, which is 밥. 아빠는 밥을 드셨다. Uncle drank 소주. 삼촌은 소주를 드셨다. 소주를 드셨다. Aunt drank water. 이모는 물을 드셨다. 이모는 물을 드셨다. By the way, the word 드시다 came from the word 들다, which literally means lifting up something with hands. So it tries to convey the meaning that somebody is lifting some food to eat, which became an honorific expression for eat. 드시다. I have already explained that drink is 마시다 and eat is 먹다. But conventionally in Korean society, when you drink alcoholic beverage such as beer, soju, or wine, it is acceptable to use either 마셨다 or 먹었다. So you can say 나는 소주를 마셨다 or 나는 소주를 먹었다. 나는 맥주를 마셨다 or 나는 맥주를 먹었다. Both are acceptable Hangul expressions when it comes to alcoholic beverage. But speaking of correctness, you'd better use 마신다 or 마셨다 for any kind of liquid or drinkable beverage. Before we impress our lovely trainer, let's summarize and review what we have learned today. NNV has three main components. First N as a subjective noun, second N as an object noun, then V as an action verb. To glue N part, we need 은, 는, 이가 for the first noun. Even though we only use 은 and 는 for today, there are other cases of using 이 or 가 with different nuance. To glue second N, we need 을 or 를 for the object, the what or which part. Finally, we use 다 or 쌍시었다 at the end of each action verb, the V part. That is the template you should remember. You can substitute any N or V as we build up more vocabularies. Alright, it's time to do practice with Cat Lady. How are you, Cat Lady?
서울 스피치, 안녕하세요.
Let me first say an English sentence. You should say the same sentence in Hangul. Then Cat Lady will give you the correct answer. Let's begin. Grandfather drank 소주.
할아버지는 소주를 드셨다.
Grandmother drank beer.
할머니는 맥주를 드셨다.
Father ate ramen.
아버지는 라면을 드셨다.
Mother drank coffee.
어머니는 커피를 드셨다.
Elder brother ate noodle soup.
형은 국수를 먹었다.
Elder sister ate ice cream.
누나는 아이스크림을 먹었다.
I drank cola.
나는 콜라를 마셨다.
My younger brother drank water.
동생은 물을 마셨다.
Great job, everyone. Let's call it a day. Please repeat a few times so that you feel comfortable and be ready for the next episode. Alright, if you have followed all the materials so far, you did a fantastic job. Now you are seeing some lights and you are able to say real sentences in Hangul. If something is not clear, I recommend to repeat previous episodes. You will find many answers from the previous ones. If you still have questions, please use the comment section below. I will try my best to find answers for you. So hang on and stand by me. I will get you there.